What's cracking, big dokes? Welcome back to the HQ. This is the first of many private live streams, as we call them, Streamzns. This is for the Patreons only. So patreon.com/BDGE is where you can get in here. I have to go share this. So give me 2 seconds. I'm going to be answering any and all of your personalized fantasy football questions for the upcoming 2019 season. Anything you got for me? Dynasty, redraft, trades, waiver wire. It's fucking June, so I don't know what I'm talking about when it comes to waiver wire. Let me post this on the Patreon page so y'all can join me. So there should be people coming in very soon. And then we will get to some of the questions. So on these live streams, y'all can ask me whatever the fudge you want, to be honest. Personal questions. Man, I'll tell you, I'm sorry. I'm moving in slow motion right now. But what are we doing? What are we doing? Post it on Patreon. We are sending out the email. It's sent. All right, people should be coming in a couple minutes. So sorry for that ridiculous intro. As you guys come in, anyone coming in, I mean, as you guys are watching this on YouTube, I'm going to put this stream up available for you guys to watch. You could drop comments down below, and I will answer as many of them as I possibly can. So last night was a fun night. I got peer pressured into going to one of my roommate's friends' party. I didn't want to because I knew I had to do this. I had to take care of business. Me and Noah just filmed Tuesday's video this morning at 9 a.m. So I'm like, I'm going to be mature. You know, I'm going to relax. I'm going to maybe drink one adult beverage, watch a movie or something, wake up nice and early, be productive. Wrong. Next thing I know, I'm like 7 White Claws deep. Tequila shots are flowing. And I'm at like a raging fucking apartment party until 3 a.m. So I don't look good, as you can see that already. And I feel a lot worse than I look, if that's possible. But the only way to get back into form is to get these poppies going again. I'm going to have a really good day after this, guys. It's the last piece of content I have to make for today. So as you guys are coming in, you feel free to ask me any questions you got, man. Whether it's about players, whether it's about there we go. There we go. I would still be in bed. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how I'm I don't really have a fucking choice, to be honest with you. I was on that couch for many, many hours. What's good, Nick? Let's eat this year in fantasy championship is on the mind. That's always going to be on the mind, baby. I'm feeling really good about this year. I feel like I am a exponentially better fantasy player this year. I feel like I didn't know shit last year. Like I was good at presenting things. But I think there's a lot I didn't understand about, you know, executing in fantasy. And this year we're fucking taking over, bro. Trackstar, we're winning all the chips this year. And we taking everyone along with me. Oh, party hard is the only way to go. My heart begs to differ. I have a bicuspid aortic valve in my heart. It's a very, very minor heart condition, but it's one of the 4 ventricles, however the fuck you say it, closes very slowly. So it's, you know, they're supposed to open and close as blood flows in and out. And one of them closes slowly. One of them closes slowly, so there's buildup in the back of it. And I don't know what point I'm getting at, but I feel like one day I'm just going to be dead, like really soon. So if I wake up dead in a bed and I don't come to one of my live streams, that's why. Yeah, that's how I felt last year. Like I moved. research, but after watching videos and other videos shows that I need to go more in depth with the research. You know what? It's not always about going in depth with the research as it is knowing what you should be researching. You know, it's more quality than quantity. It's like working smart versus working hard. And that was a big issue. And that was one of the videos I put out, I think earlier in the summer, or actually as soon as the season ended. It was like top 10 lessons I learned from the 2018 season. And there were a lot of things in there that I think were really valuable to fantasy peoples. I think injuries were something that I often overlooked and didn't really contextualize each situation until I had Dr. Morse on the channel. And he started breaking down exactly, you know, what each injury was and how concerning it would be. A lot of people take these reports on very, very face value. Right? They will hear like, oh, this person will be ready for OTAs, or this person will be ready for training camp or whatever. And it's very easy to say, but once you actually understand the difficulty of the injury or something, I feel like it's so much more valuable for you as a fantasy player. Any chance you can get the podcast on Podbean, Google Podcasts, or Radio Public? I'm not an Apple user. Yeah, so right now I use Buzzsprout.com as the hosting platform for my podcast. And Buzzsprout, it's definitely on more than iTunes, so you'll be able to find it in other places. Let me pull up exactly where the podcast is located other than iTunes. So it's on iTunes, it's on Google, it's on Spotify, it's on Stitcher, it's on Alexa, and I can get you the RSS feed as well if you need it, but it's all over the place. I think, Trenton, if you go, it's somewhere in the description of the videos. If you go to one of the links down there, I'm not sure if it says podcast or like social or something. One of the links in there will take you to a thing called Linktree, where it will have the different podcasts and links to the other platforms of it. Yeah, I feel the same way with that. One lesson I learned last year was when I ended up drafting Le'Veon Bell, and that was a disaster. But you live and you learn, and you can move forward. Yeah, one of the things is Dr. Morse. Yeah, one of the other big things I started taking away too is being a lot more risk averse in the earlier rounds. Like, it's fun shooting for upside on guys that have hypothetical upside, one, and also these injury guys that you think are getting such a good value from that have upside, i.e. Leonard Fournette, and i.e. this year, the AJ Greens and the Devonta Freemans. It's like, I get it why a lot of people want to draft those guys. But I think this is probably going to be a lesson learned for a lot of people. And I mean, I could be wrong. I don't want to be wrong. I would like to see Devonta Freeman do well, but I kind of hope I'm right, just for the sake of, you know, being able to help these people learn a lesson in that sense. And I feel good about most of the predictions that I'm making now. But then again, you know, most of this shit's just a coin flip. So you gotta kind of hope that things break your way. If you guys have any like specific players that you want me to get into or acknowledge, you know, I could get down as granular as the fuck you want. Hey, what up, Yannick? Hey, sweetheart. What are you doing today, Yannick? And I'm about to answer you in the group me. Jerking it now. That's huge. You want me to just send you over a couple selfies? Bars. Yeah, I'll send you some right now. No, for real. If you guys you have any specific players you want my opinion on, or any weird dynasty situations that you're in, hitting the racetrack up. You're a gambling man, huh? Yannick, I feel like I wouldn't be able to control you in real life. Like, I feel like you're out of control. Corey Davis, why do you hate him? Honestly, don't know if you're trolling me or not at this point, because I made that like video talking about him for like 10 minutes. I hate the situation he's in. I don't hate him as a talent, but like he's almost it's just his ceiling is just so capped. It's like looking at Stephon Diggs. It's like I love Stephon Diggs, and if you put him in another offense, like if you put him in like Green Bay, or if you put him in Julio Jones' situation or something like that, and you gave him 150, 60 targets, he'd be a top 3 fantasy wide receiver. But the offense just limits it in terms of volume that you're going to get from there. Last year, he saw 27% of the targets in Tennessee's offense, and you can't get it done and be a top even 20 wide receiver with 27% of the targets. It's probably not coming, bro. Yannick, are you coming to New York? Talk to your wife, man. What if Tannehill becomes the quarterback? I mean, is Tannehill really that much better than Mariota? I think it's the situation more so. It's not specifically Mariota. Like, he's not a great quarterback, like accuracy-wise. I think it's Tennessee. It's just that offense. They're not a high-paced offense. Their snaps in terms of, hurry up and running out of the huddle and things like that puts them in the bottom 5, 8 of the league. So they don't run a lot of plays. And now, apparently they're going to be running Derrick Henry into the ground, which obviously eats up a lot of clock. So it's not so much. I mean, Ryan Tannehill, maybe he's an upgrade to Mariota if he gets on the field, but it's very minimal in my opinion. So it's not really a thing for me. Traded 2 seconds and Marquez Valdes-Scantling for Tyreek Hill in Dynasty 3 days ago before the news change. I'm thinking that was a good deal. Now, would you be looking to trade him away once Hill plays and flashes? I mean, that looks like a fucking fantastic deal now. If Tyreek Hill has anything, if he ends up back on the field for the Chiefs this year, that's a fantastic deal in my opinion. And no, I wouldn't be looking to trade him, because if he's back on the field for the Chiefs, like, you're getting that high-end wide receiver 1. If he gets back this year, I mean, assuming I'm not too worried about like the off the field stuff for I'm not too worried about the off the field stuff after he gets, back onto the team. I'm sure he'll learn from this and keep a fucking low key. So, I mean, obviously you have to be a little bit concerned about it, but if he's back on the field this year, that means he'll be back on the field the year after that, and you have him and you got him locked up. So I'm very happy if I'm you. This shit hurts my fucking heart, man. Skirt. Doing a salary cap auction draft, would you go after a tier 1 running back? Doing a salary cap auction draft, would you go after a tier 1 running back first, or would you try to get a tier 1 wide receiver first? To be honest, I'm not very experienced when it comes to auction drafts. I would put someone that you don't want. I would say, like, take the target that you want, right? Like, whether it's, if you're targeting Joe Mixon or something, and throw someone else that's in that tier up for auction, right? Like, when it's your turn to announce who you want to throw up for the block, throw someone that's like next to Joe Mixon, whether that's David Johnson or Dalvin Cook or Melvin Gordon or whatever, and see what they go for, right? And that will probably give you a pretty good idea of where the guys in the tiers would go. And maybe you want to do that for a wide receiver and the running back before you try to get your guy, if that makes sense. To get a read on your league, because auction drafts are going to vary so differently from league to league, right? Like, you could do a million mock drafts snake wise and start to figure out Dalvin Cook's going to be a mid-second rounder and Devontae Adams is going to be a mid to late first rounder. But when it comes to auctions, like it's going to vary so widely from league to league, you know? So I would try to get it out there to get a grasp on how your league is going to be handling the auction from the start and then kind of move from there. But I always want a tier 1 running back first. Denim is so bike, man. I love this shirt. I've actually like never really worn this shirt out. I might go to the beach right after this and wear denim. I might wear denim on denim to the beach. I might put on jeans. I'm actually in underwear right now. I got nothing on under this. It's a beautiful thing. Oh, okay. I'm done with this for now. That shit hurt. What else? I won't do that for you, Yannick. You don't pay me enough. You'll have to you have to join the really fat money Patreon tier if you want the nudes. All right, hit me with some questions. What else we got? Do you have any graphic designers yet? I don't have any designers that are like on the payroll or anything, but some people will send me designs. And if I need, graphic design, I could do a lot of this shit manually on Photoshop. Like I'm pretty good with most of anything tech related. I can pretty much do on my own. But if I need to outsource something good, like I'll just find somebody on Instagram or Twitter or some shit to do it. So I don't actually have like a real graphic designer. Unless, are you referring to the for the Faded Public logo? I've had a few people reach out. I haven't checked the email. I never checked that email, so I'm not sure if Snacks or Animal looked at it. But I've had a few people reach out via Instagram that want to help with the design. So, I don't pay any graphic designers. They're pretty easy to find because it's a very like freelance heavy job, you know. So you can kind of just throw it out there and be like, "Hey, does anyone do graphic design?" And boom, they'll got like 42 people right away. Ja feels. Look at Snacks fucking pounding beers right now. It's disgusting. Yeah, that's why I asked y'all if y'all would consider doing one time. I'm the guy that asked on one of the videos. Oh, for auction. Yeah, I mean, I try to stick to my lane. I get a lot of questions about like IDP, you know, individual defensive players and stuff. And I've never played in an IDP league, so I'm not going to come out here and make the content for the sake of making it and give you like shitty value and shitty stats to back it up. So I try to stick to what I know. So when I'm talking about shit, I can come with the big facts. So I apologize if I don't have the most versatile skill set when it comes to all these different league settings. Why do I feel like people aren't high enough on Lev Bell? I know Gase is awful, but could see Bell getting every carry plus all kind of targets. Yeah, it's just a very there's going to be problems in that locker room, I'm pretty sure. It's just it's an underwhelming offense when you look at it relative to what he had in Pittsburgh in terms of like the pace. I don't think he's going to get as many targets as a lot of people think he is. Yeah, he might get out a large portion of their targets, but I don't really know how many that is. It's not going to be like it was in Pittsburgh. They had a much better offensive line. They had a lot more, red zone goal line opportunities. They kept their drives going for a lot longer, which is just more overall touches for Lev Bell. And I think they have a low-key good weapons group out there. So I don't know. I just I could see Lev Bell getting a lot of volume, but just not very efficient on the volume. And at the end of the day, it's not like what I want my first-round pick to be. Does that make sense? Also, I'm getting pumped for the NY trip. Fuck yeah, dude. I'm starting to look more into that and starting to plan it. I have someone helping me out planning it. We actually had to swap the Airbnbs. The original Airbnb that we booked, I woke up one day and it was just canceled. And I reached out to the guy and I was like, yo, what the fuck? Because these things go quickly in the summer, right? All the weekends start to get taken up. And he was like, I'm sorry, Airbnb. I've been on the phone with Airbnb all morning. They canceled every reservation in all my location, all my properties, dating through October. So I was like, all right, well, let me know like what happens. And then I ended up booking another place last night. which is actually fucking sick. It's like 3 stories. It's a little bit more uptown. Like we were gonna be staying in the East Village, I believe, but now we're in like Murray Hill. It's still like a really fucking cool spot. This place it's mad room. It's 3 stories. It has a whole outdoor section that we can hang out in. Although like the person said we're not really supposed to be out there after 8 p.m., which is definitely fucking bullshit. I wonder if I could. No, I can't show you guys my screen right now. But yeah, dude, it's gonna be really, really fun. I'm looking forward to it. And it is my birthday that weekend, so we go super fucking hard on the second night that we're there. I actually like ended up losing money last year. I think this is supposed to be a profitable weekend for me, but we blew like $3,000 the second night on bottle service. Totally fucking worth it, but like not good for business. We'll put it that way. White Claws at noon. Yeah, I mean, technically it was White Claws last night, and it just kind of never stopped. Big alcoholic vibes. Don't make me fucking feel bad. I'm going on the beach after this, maybe. Do you think Trubisky makes top 10 quarterbacks here? No, I think we're going to see a pretty heavy regression from the Bears overall. Me and Noah actually talked about this a lot. So it's funny because predicting year over year defense, I hate strength of schedule. Like people creating strength of schedule when the schedules come out, right? Because we really don't know what teams are going to be really good or what teams are going to be really bad in terms of defense, and those things vary. Those things vary very heavily year over year, and it's because the most valuable position. Yeah, it's facts. It was not from Macy's. I think it was from Marshall's. I probably got it for like $14. Great buy. It's not what you wear, it's how you wear it, baby. The most valuable position on a football team is the quarterback, right? Bar none. The quarterback will make or break your football team. If you have an elite quarterback, your offense and your entire team will run itself year in, year out. It's like owning LeBron James in basketball or Kevin Durant or any of these players who are elite, right? They are the engine behind the team. And when you have a defense that you don't have a quarterback position on the defense. Like, yes, you can tell me, okay, there's a few elite guys that make a big difference on defenses, but for the main part, quarterbacks are just so much more valuable than any defenses, right? So year over year, if you lose a quarterback, you know that offense is taking a big dip, whereas the defense is going to fluctuate just on a number of different variables. And that's what I think we're going to see with the Bears. They're still going to be a very good defense, but they're not going to be able to lean on the defense where they did with that last year. And that's why I think Mitch Trubisky probably played so well, right? His touchdown interception ratio was really good. Was really good last year, but he threw so many interceptable passes. So his stats should have been a lot worse, and he was extremely inconsistent. So he's not a player I'm necessarily looking for. In one quarterback leagues, I don't hate him because you could always, throw him out on the bench or throw him out on the wire if he isn't performing well and pick up somebody else. But when you're playing in Superflex leagues, 2 quarterback leagues, you have to be a lot more cognizant of the picks that you're making because the quarterbacks are mid-round picks, right? 5th, 6th, 7th round picks, and those aren't just throwaways. You can't just dump them on the wire and pick somebody else up. So Trubisky's a little too inconsistent for me when it comes to Superflex, but he's not a guy I'm shying away from in one quarterback leagues, I guess. I've been searching for plane tickets too. Yeah, Priest, where what airport are you gonna fly into? Once we got you locked down and everything, payment and you're looking at flights and stuff, I'll add you to the group me that we're in so people can coordinate, times and locations. It's either JFK or LaGuardia. Where do you stand on DK Metcalf? I feel like some people think he's going to be Calvin Johnson and some people think he's going to be Dorial Green Beckham. I don't think he's either. I think best case scenario is he's like Deshaun Jackson. He's not he could be a very good deep threat. And but And Deshaun Jackson, you don't look at Deshaun Jackson as like a possession receiver, but he is he can run those wide receiver one routes if needed, right? He could run the crosses, the slants, and things like that, but that's not his specialty. And I think that's what we're going to see out of DK Metcalf. So I think people are kind of looking at him the wrong way because of the way he's built. But I see best case scenario as like a Deshaun Jackson. He needs a lot of help on his routes still, and I think that will be a problem. But he will. I mean, he'll show flashes all year. He'll make a couple big plays. So for redraft, I'm not going to be drafting him in any redraft leagues. Dynasty, I've gotten higher on him just because the situation is so good. They don't really have anything proven there at wide receiver besides Tyler Lockett, who will probably end up playing in the slot a lot more. So Metcalf is interesting. I just think people have the range of outcomes for him a little in the wrong spots. Have you gone to 5 leaves yet? What is 5 leaves, Scott? Don't be coming up here like, I can't handle this shit on a Saturday morning. Also, why don't people believe Lamar will be over on quarterback 1? I don't know, man. I really don't know. I'll ask them on the next video, but it's a ridiculous point of view that people don't think he's number 1. Which quarterback makes a bigger improvement in their throwing stats in year 2, Lamar Jackson or Josh Allen? I mean, improvement, I would like it almost has to be Lamar Jackson by default because he was so bad at throwing last year, or just didn't were so low in terms of like volume of what he produced. But I want to say Josh Allen. Like who's going to have better passing numbers, I guess? I would say Josh Allen. I think he's going to make a bigger improvement in the passing game. Everything I've heard out of Baltimore about Lamar Jackson and his throwing has been like really fucking not good. So like, I think that's a really big concern. All right. So he won the Heisman, right? And like you chose him to run your offense based on his style of play. And when you get into the NFL and you're 22 or 23 years old, and then all of a sudden you're changing your throwing mechanics, that's an enormous red flag to me. You throw the way you throw. And normally, like, I don't want to say you don't work on getting better as a thrower, but most quarterbacks have have the foundation of like who they are as a passer in terms of their technique and things like that. Like Sam Darnold, like, he's a strong arm thrower. You usually don't change your technique. That's usually a bad sign. So I'm definitely a little bit nervous about Lamar Jackson from his throwing standpoint because we haven't really heard anything good coming out of that camp yet. Josh Allen, I just like that they're building around him. I really do. I think what they did in Buffalo, adding 6 new offensive linemen plus all the weapons, between Beasley, John Brown, and adding to that backfield, I think Josh Allen could surprise. Which one's the best one? I'm coming from Grand Rapids, Michigan. I'm trying to think. I'm actually not sure because I've never taken transportation from one of those airports to Manhattan before. I've only taken it to New Jersey. I'll get back to you on that, Priest. I'll let you know. Brunch spot. No, I've never even heard of 5 Leaves yet. That's in Brooklyn, I'm assuming? It's funny, like Brooklyn's pretty fucking big. There's a lot of different like areas of it's in Greenpoint, so it's probably actually not that far. I lied, actually. I think it's far as a motherfucker. Let's see. No, I lied again. It's only like a 6-minute bike ride. Yo, my roommate last night, after the party, when I get drunk, I always ride a bike home. I just rent one of the city bikes. My roommate gets city bike for free. It's one of his work perks. And I just downloaded his account on my phone. So I use it all the time and I don't get charged for it. So I ride it like 17 times a day. I ride bicycles. But when I get drunk, I always take them home. So like 3 a.m, I got home last night and I couldn't figure out how to get the fucking bike into the city bike rack. I I couldn't figure it out, so I just fucking left it. And I was like, I'll figure it out in the morning. And I completely forgot to do it. And then he gets an email this morning from City Bike. Hello, Wilson. The bike 3052 you rented last night at 2:10 a.m. has not been seen by the system in the last 3 hours. Usage fees are still being charged to your account. I was like, fuck, I totally forgot I just left the bike out there. I was like too drunk to figure out how to fucking put it into the thing. Brunch spot. Is it unlimited? Is it unlimited boozy brunch though, Scott? Because that's like the fucking, that's it. LaGuardia. Are you sure? Yannick, are you ever even in New York? Are you coming to New York or no? Like, can you convince your wife? Bring her too if you want. I don't give a fuck. Which draft software would you suggest on draft day? Brian, what do you mean by that? Do you mean like which website you should host your league on? Do you mean where should you get your rankings from on draft day? Give me some more specifics, and I'll dive in for you. Is it bad that when people invite me to fantasy leagues, I won't play if they use kickers? Yeah, no, I'm at the point where I'm at the point where I don't ever accept league invites anymore because I just have too many. But if I'm joining a league at this point, it has to be super flex. It has to be half PPR. If there's kickers in it, I won't join either. There are a few rules that I absolutely hate. And on this week's Fade the Public that we're filming in 2 days, I don't think we're actually doing any player content. I think it's all based around like leagues and the best like settings and scorings and a bunch of questions based around like commissioner stuff. So that's going to be a good episode for you guys. It's going to be a lot of fun too. Like Draft Wizard. Yeah, I still don't get it. What do you mean? Are you saying like mock draft practicing? Should you suggest on draft day? Like how are you going to use Draft Wizard on draft day? That's a mock draft app. Who do you think is going to be more fantasy relevant, Lamar Jackson or Mega Meat Mayfield? I would 100% take Mayfield there. No kickers for NY League then, right? No, absolutely not. Those settings that I just rattled off to you were exactly what we did in the NY League. It was super flex, 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, tight end, 2 regular flexes, a defense, no kicker. Did we even do defense? Yeah, we did defense, but I honestly wouldn't be opposed to getting the fucking defense out the way too. Eight as bitch. NY League is redraft, correct? Yep. How else am I going to get you fuckers back out to New York every summer? I mean, while you're actually drafting your team, do you use an app to assist you? No, I will print out a ranking sheet and I will just cross off names as they go off. I'm assuming you mean like you do a live draft with your friends. So if it's a live draft, like you're sitting down with your friends and whatever, you're putting stickers on the board, I will make sure I print out a ranking sheet beforehand and then just cross it off as it goes. The rankings in the Big Dogs Draft Guide will be printable as well, so you could do that with those. BigDogsDraftGuide.com drops July 1st. I like starting 3 wide receivers, to be honest. More players, more points. I always advocate for more flexes. I think if there's ever a change you want to make in your league to spice shit up, add an extra flex. If you got 1, add a second one. If you got 2, add a third one. If you got 3, add a 5th one. Always more flexes. I don't like doing specifically to wide receivers, though I do think that makes them a little bit more valuable. I think like ultimately we're all kind of working back. I think we're going to see the fantasy like industry community start working back to making all players equal in a sense. Like Superflex makes all quarterbacks equal. And I think once Superflex has become the mainstream, which it will be in like 2 years, then I think tight end premium will be the next thing because tight ends are going to be so devalued and no one wants anyone besides the top 3. So we'll see quarterbacks, tight ends, and then wide receivers are a little bit less valued than running backs now. So some kind of tweak to make that a little bit more even. It's a fucking all flex league, baby. Thoughts on Dante Pettis? He seemed to do really good near the end of last season, especially as a rookie. Yeah, I mean, he had a great rookie year. I don't think personally, I don't think he's built to be like a wide receiver one. I think I don't want to say he's a complimentary player because he's better than a complimentary player. I think best case scenario is maybe you see him as like the Calvin Ridley of the Niners offense, but this is an offense that's going to spread the ball around a lot, right? They have George Kittle taking 27% of the targets, and they're going to throw to their running backs on 25% of their targets. They drafted Deebo Samuel, who is very similar to Dante Pettis, and they're both like super versatile, good route runners, will catch the ball both deep and over the middle, strong hands. But I think right now, just given like I don't want to say messiness of the Niners offensive situation, but just how many offensive weapons they have for an offense that we don't even know is going to be that good. It seems like they're going to be better real life players, and it's going to be super hard to predict any kind of breakout. Like I like Pettis. I'm sure we'll have plenty of like 4 for 78 and one 4 for 78 and one touchdown games. But consistency is something that I worry about when it comes to Dante Pettis. Does the last place team in your league win anything special? Nut chop, throw punch. So in the high stakes league that me, Snacks, and Animal do together, the E-Town Get Down, we always have a loser punishment. The first year we did the loser punishment, it was a boring, like someone stands on the corner and has in like a bathing suit when it was the winter, it was like January with a sign that says I suck or whatever. One year it was a comedy club in New York. Had to go up onto the stage during an open mic night at a comedy club in the city. This year, the last place loser has to run a 5K in a costume that the rest of the league chooses. D-ball all day. Pretty Richie. Yeah, dude, we got like 3 of the fucking three of Go Fade Me's league members in here. So yeah, we always want to do a punishment. I think that's so important for keeping the league like engaged. If you're in a season league, especially if you're in a league with like friends that you're going to be with like physically, either on draft day or like throughout the year or something, having a last place punishment is fantastic. Pretty Richie, what you doing in here, bro? If you found someone really talented, would you consider having a graphic designer making everything for your brand? I mean, a graphic designer is the way I look at the business and the brand is figuring out which pieces bring the most value. So a graphic designer, like, yeah, I would love to have a graphic designer on the team, but I would, I mean, if they want it to work for free, obviously I'll always take that. But in terms of payment, I would much rather invest the money into equipment, into software, into editors that can take editing time off my plate so I can put my time elsewhere, like into research and things like that. When it comes to graphic design, like it's cool, but it almost seems like a luxury to me at this point from a business standpoint, because the delta between what I can do graphically and what a graphic designer can do, I mean, it's massive, obviously, because it's not my profession, but for the naked eye, just like putting stuff on Instagram and putting out different things is not big enough for me to want to invest money into it. Like graphic designer, it's a luxury for me, and maybe down the road, but I'm always looking to, get people in freelancing if I need to one-off projects or stuff. But what round are you taking Galladay in a PPR, 4th or 5th? It depends who's on the board. There's a lot of 4th round wide receivers that I really like. Brandon Cooks, Robert Woods, Sammy Watkins even. So it's not necessarily like which round. It's probably who's off the board and who's on the board still. And like even Stephon Diggs is like a 4th round pick this year, which is fucking crazy. So obviously if I had to choose between the two, it'd be 5th, but I'm not opposed to Galladay in the mid to late 4th round if the rest of my favorite picks are off the board. Do you ever enable trade restrictions? Sometimes I worry about others knowledge, are you pro voting to veto trades? I'm sure we'll talk about this on this week's Fade the Public because it's all going to be like league stuff. It's not like player analysis, I don't think. So I'm the commissioner, and I think every league that I'm in, and I have. Okay, so I've vetoed, I think, one trade in the history of all of my leagues, and it was in this year. It was a dynasty startup, and I vetoed it because someone traded away a future pick that they didn't actually own, so I like kind of had to veto it by default. But I absolutely never veto trades unless you could prove like collusion or the trade is like ridiculously absurd. But I don't play in leagues where people like literally don't know anything, so I don't veto it. But in terms of like letting league mates veto it, absolutely fucking not. Because people will veto it for no reason. If there's even like a slight edge to one side of the trade, it's going to get vetoed. 99% of trades will get vetoed every time. 60% of the time, they get vetoed every time. So as a commissioner, I would absolutely never suggest letting league mates veto trades. And as a commissioner, just be a fucking normal human being, and like look at the trades and be like, is this a fair trade? It's not fair. It doesn't have to be fair. Fucking trading is a science. It's an art. It's not a science. You got to finesse people, right? It's about talking. It's about making deals. So if someone comes away as a winner, they fucking won. They didn't cheat, right? So you let that go through. But if it's something that's very, very detrimental to the league, maybe you take it up with the league mates or something. You also vetoed me buying a pick. I didn't fucking veto you buying a pick. I just fucking laid the hammer down and said, bitch, if you buying a pick from anybody, it's me. Just throwing my opinion on the trade talk. Take one person in your league you trust to determine if a trade is fair or not. No vetoes, just a league. Yeah, that's very fair too. It's basically just my role as the commissioner is what I do. Yeah, that's bitch shit. So I'm going to do these Patreon live streams bi-weekly throughout the summer, every other Saturday. So starting this Saturday and then 2 Saturdays from now, we'll do another, and then continuing on and on and on. And then during the season, if you're a Patreon member, I will do private live streams every single week. So any like sit-start questions or any waiver wire advice or whatever you guys need, I will be jumping on with you guys once a week. What are you drinking? Does it have alcohol? Yeah, unfortunately it does. It's called a White Claw. It's what all the fucking basic bitches drink. So I've drank a few of these. It's a really like white girl drink. And every time I'm like day drinking or at a party or something, all girls are drinking these things. And I've had them before. I don't really like seltzer. But my roommate just got back from LA and he was in Malibu and he said like all they did was drink these out there. So they got like 40 of them last night. And they're 5% alcohol. And it doesn't hurt that they're only 100 calories. So it's like having a beer that doesn't bloat you. So I legit drank like 7 of these in a row last night. And I have an absolutely pounding headache. So I figured the only way to get rid of it is to drink more. Horrible fucking choice, though. Kids, don't listen to any of my suggestions, please. Who do you like more, Geronimo, Allison, or MVS? Ooh, Brian, stay tuned. Tomorrow morning's video goes in depth on both of those guys. So I don't want to go crazy about them right now and waste a lot of breath or time. But tomorrow's video, heavy dosage of Allison and MVS and that whole Packers situation. Situation. Skirt. Ooh. Yeah, that's a bit shit. 2-door coupe hopping out like Jack in the Box. I'm gonna shoot if this 30's all that I got. Fuck. My friends are at the beach. I'm about to hop out. And you guys got any more questions, concerns, comments? Anything you want to yell at me before I hop off? This is going to go up on YouTube, so you can always drop comments in the comment section. I can get to those. Why do people blow Austin Hooper? I have no fucking idea, because he's semi-athletic and He's young. That's really it. And he's in a good offense. Why you do high on A.J. Brown and why are you so high on A.J. Brown? I just think A.J. Brown is literally a can't-miss prospect. I mean, his measurables are elite. Speed, size, college production. You can't find an objective negative when it comes to A.J. Brown. The second-round draft capital and the team sucks. And he went to Ole Miss where he was competing with targets with DK Metcalf and DeMarcus Lodge and became the premier producer there. So he is just an incredible wide receiver that I wish went to a different situation. And Corey Davis was an awesome prospect as well, but he also did go to a small school, which makes me a little bit nervous. And we've seen him trying to succeed for a few years, and we haven't seen him do it. So I would much rather A.J. Brown. Did you get your reservation for dinner tonight already? What's dinner tonight? Scott, you make me nervous with these questions, bro, because I can't handle a lot in my head at once. It's so crazy, bro, how my brain works. I can look anything like fantasy football or stats and numbers wise. I can go through the entire Roto World page for the next 20 minutes, and every single thing that was written on there will stick into my brain. But my short-term memory is fucked. I can't remember anything else. You're awesome. Thank you for joining me today, Paul. I appreciate the support, man. OJ Howard or Henry or Ebron. So OJ Howard is my highest ranked out of that, but it's very close with Hunter Henry. And then Ebron is farther back because I don't like what's going on with the groin surgery. And obviously Doyle, Campbell, Devin Funchess coming in. Knock his I don't want to say ceiling a little bit, but just knock his outlook. Can't argue with those big facts for PPR. Yeah, doesn't really change. Booby Williams got released. I did not see that. Did that happen today? I'm not surprised because people like to just make buzz and hype about everybody for a lot of reasons. But he was undrafted, so is this facts? He was released? I can't find anything. If he was, let me see what the question was. Does he do anything for Darwin? No, not really. If Booby was going to do anything, it was going to be in a very minimal pass catching role. So we'll have to see, if Darwin even gets any playing time throughout the preseason. I think the first couple games in preseason will be very telling with what that backfield really looks like. Snacks, they're easy in the summer. Sorry, my bad. Oh. No, I didn't get it yet. Luckily, it's very easy to get them if I want to. For Neil Sterling. No, I did not see that. Interesting, though. So Booby was a prolific pass catcher. I'm shocked that the Patriots didn't get him, and I wouldn't be surprised if they do end up getting him now and then replacing James White with him next year. All right, y'all. I'm hopping off. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you hit that thumbs up. And if you are new, you're rewatching the play or whatever, rewatching the play of this video, if you want to be part of the live stream chat, make sure that you sign up on patreon.com/BDGE. We'll be doing these bi-weekly and then again weekly during the season. Love you, Yannick. Always appreciate the support. Love the rest of y'all too. Scott, adios.